Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Noeen. I am a Director of Communications and Events with SCWIST. And today we are having a session related to career development programs. Today our session is about AMA, which is Ask Me Anything, with adMare Bioinnovations, which is basically a biotech company related to the pharmaceutical research and the drug discovery. We have our two amazing panelists today with us. Before I go to introduce them, I would like to give them the land acknowledgements. And we would like to take a moment and reflect on our connection to the land and thank the traditional guardians of that land, which we at SCWIST, Vancouver, live and work. Vancouver is on the unceded ancestral and traditional lands of Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, Seychelles, Squamish, and the indigenous people of the Turtle Island. There will be some housekeeping rules. Please note that today's event will be recorded and it will be uploaded on the YouTube on our SCWIST channel. And please keep your mics muted. If you have any question, you can always type in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand and then you can unmute yourself and ask the question. But we will also have the breakout room, so you can definitely get a chance to interact with our panelists and to ask the question which you like. Now, I would like to introduce our two amazing panelists from adMare Bioinnovations. One, we have to get with us Dr. Edie Dullaghan. She is the scientific director of adMare Academy, adMare Bioinnovations Vancouver, and she plays a direct role in the development and advancements of the scientific talent within the Canadian life science ecosystem. Previously, Dr. Dullaghan worked at CDRD, which is Center for Drug Research and Development, as the Director of Target Validation, where she spent over 10 years advancing made in Canada innovations while also mentoring the next generations of the drug developers. Thanks, Dr. Dullaghan, for joining us today. I am really honored to have you. I think I got a chance to know you before in our previous events, and that was really amazing. We also have today, we had, as we advertised in our event, right, we had Dr. Mounia Azzi. Because of some urgent matters, she could not make it today. We have another amazing person from adMare Bioinnovations. Sumaya Ali is with us. Sumaya Ali is investment and analyst. She's working with in the Department of Direct Investments with adMare Bioinnovations, and previously she has worked as a supervisor healthcare analyst. She is also a co-founder of Oilpure Limited, and she did her master's from King's College London and Wilfrid Laurier University. Thanks, Sumaya. It's I am really honored and pleased to have you with us. And with that note, I think I will start the session. And my first question is about definitely which all of us always wonder, whoever comes from the academic side, right? That if we want to enter into the industrial sector, it is so hard for us. So my first question is, how in your career, how you could easily move from academic side to the industrial side, or which challenges you faced, or which skill sets you acquired during that transition. So I will, I think, start with Dr. Edie. So I think, Edie, if you would like to please start here. Thank you.
Thank you, Noeen. You know, the interesting part about that question is the most difficult thing was to try and remain in academia. It is so competitive. I knew I wanted to establish my own lab, and I can tell you I've seen the best scientists just unable to get the grants, unable to get the opportunity to build their own lab. So I was doing a postdoc. My background is in infectious diseases, and I was working in a CL3 laboratory, working with tuberculosis and other types of mycobacteria. And I realized that you could publish all day long, but I was not going to be able to establish my own lab. The competition was just too stiff. So then I started to think, what is it that I want out of my career? And for me, what was important was to say that the work that I had done had made a difference in the lives of patients. And so I became connected with two very famous microbiologists. I got involved in projects that they were running. And then when I heard that they were going to co-found a company, I approached them. I talked to them about my skill set. And I will tell you, the interesting thing was, the thing they were most interested in is not that I was a good bench scientist, but that I had previous supervisory experience. And they said that was something that was so interesting to them, because they wanted someone that could lead a group. And so they actually gave me my start as a scientist in their company.
That's really amazing. I agree, because in industrial side, you basically have to lead. And I think, I think that's a good tip for me too, that if I want to move to industrial sector, now I know they don't really rely on the skill set, rather than they are more interested in your leadership skills. So, and thanks for this. Soumya, would you like to add something to it?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for taking me in the last minute. And I know I'm covering for Mounia. It's a large shoes to fill. So I hope I'll be helpful in a way or another. And also from the fact that I do come from a scientific background, but I chose earlier on in my career to take a detour, but only to find myself, taking myself back into biotech, but from a financial and finance perspective. So my path was a little bit different. I did not want to really continue being in the lab, and for many reasons. One of them was I was really keen on understanding how the financial system works, how the whole economic engine performs, and how would that be, and how could I be possibly contributing to that engine into financing and providing some capital to biotech. So I also had the thinking of my career path. How could I really contribute to medicine? How could I contribute to science? I really am passionate about science. That's why I studied molecular biology, and I did a lot of research in Parkinson's disease at a master's level and post-master's, but I just decided to step out of science at that point, get the experience in finance. And what really helped me, to be honest, was getting hands-on experience in the corporate world. And then I joined the master's program at Wilfrid Laurier, and that significantly helped me because it was a program that was focused on getting hands-on experience. So if there's anyone interested in finance, I think what's really important in finance is also understanding the basics very well, but really finding an avenue that will allow you provide you the opportunity to get hands-on experience with the really top asset management companies in Canada. So that was my path to being here today at adMare as an investment analyst supporting the direct investments team.
Thanks, Soumya. It's very interesting. I think, I don't know how you did that, because the connection between science and finance is completely different world, right? And it's really amazing to see that you could do it and you were quite successful at it, that's very important. I will go to my next question. So my next question is how to network, build the connections and build the relationships, and then leverage those connections to form a concrete or solid partnership in the industrial side. So I would like to go with Soumya, with you first, if you would like to.
I would say if there's anything that really helped me be here today was networking. And thankfully, we're in an era where there's LinkedIn. And not just, it's the platform that really helps you connect with individuals who you possibly within your career path, people that you look up to and that you hope to follow their path. And what's really even has been amazing, and an amazing experience on my part, is that everybody's willing to help. So I've knocked on so many doors, and the majority of the doors were open to me. I've spoken to, even when I just started the choice of my bachelor's degree, I was supposed to study medicine, but I didn't want to. So it was a professor at the university I'm born and raised in Dubai, so I started my life there and my education there, and then moved to the UK. So a professor at the university really helped me with that decision in the early 2000s, telling me that, or advising me that molecular biology will be very important for the future. So it was really helpful then. And then transitioning to finance, I really reached out to managers in the Bay Street, which is kind of the equivalent to Wall Street in Toronto. And they were really, really helpful in terms of guiding me to how, as an immigrant, for example, I could get access to opportunities. And I eventually came up to the conclusion that I do need to join a master's program that has a solid co-op program. And then the sky is the limit. It's up to me from then to get the experience, get the high grades, and really join. I even joined a group called the Women in Capital Markets in Toronto that also gave me a chance to meet lead HR advisors who helped me as well, kind of fine-tune areas that I should work on. So I do believe that these it's a lot of skills that one has to work on continuously, and one would really learn by asking. And there's a lot of people out there that are so helpful. So just don't hesitate, ask, completely ask. And there are also opportunities to volunteer that also helped me a lot. I get actually calls from people across the world, in the US, Europe, the Middle East, India, and I'd love to meet them on Zoom, explain, for example, valuation analysis for those who are within the scientific field and are really interested in understanding the finance side of things. So that's been very helpful, and quite even made me feel very kind of I appreciate being helpful. That's what I'm trying to say.
And thanks, Sumaya. I would like to ask same question to Edie. And also if you can add that how it was different when you started your career and now how it is different, this networking and the connection building. Thank you.
I think one of the things that's different is we're living in a pandemic. So where I would go to 4 or maybe even 6 conferences a year, that right now has all gone away. So if you're right in the middle of trying to find an opportunity, now is a pretty tough time. You've got to really network online. And I would say, typically when I was doing my PhD, for instance, at the National Institute for Medical Research, we weren't on LinkedIn, there was no real social media. It was all in person, face-to-face, poster competitions. And in fact, I'd say that presenting posters, I have a resume of around 200 posters that I've presented, because that's what you did. That's how you got to speak to people or had people come and look at your work. So now I think things have changed, and I think it'll be a long time before, we go back to all being, at conferences that have got 20,000 people. So you need to develop your skills online. You need to network. And I really agree, you need to join societies. And I would say, I was an immigrant here 21 years ago, and we didn't have societies like the Immigrant and International Women's Society that we have now. I would encourage anyone to join that group. And I have been to numerous of their meetings, and I've spoken at numerous of their meetings. And it's a great opportunity to meet with other people that have had to come to a new country and learn new skills. Life here is not the same as it is anywhere else. So it's good to actually immerse yourself with people that are also having to do those same and make those same changes. I would also say that adMare has an online community that is open to anyone that is on this call to join, to interact and network with CEOs, CSOs, interact with all the students that we have and the postdocs. We have a job board on there with upwards of 200 postings right now, right across the country. So get in there and actually see what is available. and join societies like yours and volunteer and be part of what you're trying to do, which I think is fabulous. Women in STEM, you know, get in there and interact in a way that people get to know your name. I have never turned down anyone who has approached me for a virtual coffee, 15 minutes on Zoom, ever. And it's fun, and I love it, and I do it all the time. And I think just step out of your comfort zone and ask people to talk to you.
Thanks, Edie. I think it's a very good tip, like step out of your comfort zone and just don't hesitate to network and ask people for networking. And the other point, I think volunteering is very important because other people will get know like which type of the person you are, or which type of the skill set you have, which type of the experience you have. It's very important to volunteer for certain society. I mean, I came to know Edie through the volunteering for SCWIST, and it's very amazing. So thanks for your wonderful tips. Now I will go to my next question. So how did you adapt to your new environment? And I will start this question with Edie, you, because you came from the academic side and you entered into the industrial sector. I'm pretty sure environment was completely different. So how did you do that? And how did you stay in the game, like for the long run? You know, you have been now in, yeah, thank you.
It's actually, I can only align it like this. When you come out of an academic lab, and I can tell you, we would go into our lab, we'd set up a gel, we'd all wander off for coffee. Now I'm in a company. Now things are very, very different. Now you have goals and objectives that weren't placed on you before. And I actually liken it to learning a new language. How a company is driven is not the same as an academic lab. As an academic, what really drove us was pure research, science, learning new things, identifying new targets. And I remember, and I say this all the time, the first time I was told in a company that we are not driven by science, we are driven by business, I was initially horrified. And I'm sure Sumaya could have taught me a lot then about what it is that actually drives business, but it's not science. It's money, because someone has to pay for this. And so when you're in a company and you think they should be altruistic and be going after developing antibiotics, they're sitting there thinking, but we don't have the millions of dollars to do that because no one's going to reimburse us. And so you start to learn that actually what puts a company together and enables it to survive and do well is very different. It's worth finding out what that is. And actually, it's almost like a mind change. You actually start to function in a very different way. Instead of going down a rabbit hole with your research and thinking, oh, this is really interesting. No. Does this contribute to the goals of my company? Because if it doesn't, I need to move back to what they're asking me to do. So it is a game. Talk about stay in the game. You just learn a new language, and you learn that what drives your day is just very different.
Thanks, Edie. I think that was very well elaborated answer. It's very good to know that for business side, the interests are different than academic side. In academic side, it's always a novel idea, new idea. I think this is what I got from your answer. And in business side, it is more like what is best in interest for the company or for the business, like revenue. I will ask the same question to Soumya. Soumya, if you would like to add something here.
I would like to comment on the last point. I agree with Dr. Edie on that point, but I also want to highlight that it's not I don't want to dishearten you in any way. On the contrary, all I want to say is that in reality, as well, what finance is trying to do in the overall economic ecosystem that we work in is to efficiently, and that's how money flows. The money would flow to where there would be more returns and more benefits. So luckily now that, and I would attribute that to the growth in the industry in biotech and how lots of companies have been able to show that novel research has really contributed to saving lives, or for example, in lung cancer, you could see people living for more than 5 to 6 years. That was unheard of. So now I think that there is a move, and I think it's been going really fast, where the business itself is quite aligned with what's novel, what will make a difference. So as scientists, I would say, I mean, there is definitely a difference in the way academia looks at things, but the more in the biotech industry is engaging with academics, those bridges are being really shorter and brought together. So please don't be disheartened. It's definitely your science is very important, and as long as it contributes to the unmet needs, as you can see in cancer and other debilitating diseases, rare diseases, just stay aligned, and the capital will flow to you.
Thanks, Somi. Actually, someone wrote comment that the person did not realize it's a woman-only event. It's not women-only event. It is, the audience is everyone, like from men to women. So it's everyone. And I think that person already left, maybe, because the person realized it is definitely not, because the main purpose is to help networking and to guide each other for who are in search of these jobs. So it is definitely not. Anyway, I will reach out to that person later. I will go to next questions, and next question is that when people from academics, they are applying to industrial jobs, so which industrial aspects they take completely wrong, or which type of the misunderstandings they have to address first. So I will take this question first to Edie, if you would like to.
I think it still goes back to the finances. I think that what I had to learn was what was it that would drive a successful biotech company. And that's the bit that was really interesting to learn. And I just want to say that the Bioinnovation Scientist program that we have made available across the country to anyone on this call who would like to sign up for it, what we did is we attended to teaching those, what is drug development, what drives drug development, what is drug commercialization, how is it done, so that we could actually enable early career scientists to make that transition of thought easier. So what is it that is important? Absolutely, the science is important. Validating your targets is important, but you also have to understand what the market cap on what your company is deciding to go after. And so I think the best answer I can give for anyone here that's interested in understanding what drives a biotech company, sign up for the Bioinnovation Scientist program and become job ready. Learn that new language of how a company sees the world in light of the science that they're driving. I don't know what you think, Sumaya, but that's probably the best way I can
totally agree with you, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to join the program. I know it's being revamped now, and I'm hopefully going to jump onto the new one as well. But it's been very helpful, even for me, having a background mainly in analyzing biotech companies at a public stage, public stocks, and not really private. So now that I'm thankfully and gratefully at adMare, I'm really going back to science, looking at everything from a preclinical standpoint. So the program really helped me understand what does it really take to get the drug or the asset, the lead asset, to becoming a lead asset, and then graduating to being used in a first-in-human clinical trial. So I definitely second Dr. Edie on that program. I hope you'll find it very helpful, and it did focus a lot on soft skills, which I do from personal experience. I think a lot of the experience that I gained from being in the corporate world was mainly on soft skills, collaborating with people, speaking out, learning. It's been a really great opportunity, and that the program really highlights and focuses on these skills. So I really hope you join and that you find it useful. And also, we're very open to your comments, to you sharing what you need, because that really helps in upgrading the program and to you, and because your success is what really drives the success of the program. So please join us.
Yeah, thanks, Soumya. And for everyone, for adMare Bioinnovations online community link, Colleen posted in the chat box if you would like to join that community. Also, for Bioinnovation scientific program that adMare Bioinnovation has started under the leadership of Dr. Edie, we are going to have our event on, I think, November 19th, right? 7 days from now. Yeah. So we will be having that event. If you are interested in that program, please come and join us. We will be talking in more detail about that. And now I think I will go to my poll question, and I'm going to create a poll, and I would like all of you to participate in that poll question. It is related to the internship or like career development program that you would like to see in more companies, like in industrial sector. So I will create that poll now. It will just take a minute for me. So just please. Okay. So I think I have created the poll now, and I just need to see here. Yeah, and I'm going to launch it now. So there is no choice 5 because I am typing so quickly. So there is no choice 5, only 4. You have to select one. Okay, I'm going to launch it now. So please participate in this poll. Which type of the internship opportunities you would like companies to offer? Internship programs, co-op program, and volunteering and career development workshops. So Soumya, I have one question here. Meanwhile, this poll is going on.
Sure.
There was a question in the chat box. Which type of the financial program you would like to recommend to our biotech and life sciences students or life people who have these degrees? So which type of the program you did for the financial
when I first joined an investment company in Dubai, I took a smaller program called the CSCISI, it's the Chartered Institute of Securities Investments. It's part of the British regulator system. That was mostly a very small course, but I realized in time that the most important certification in finance was the CFA, which stands for the Chartered Financial Analyst program. It's a highly regarded institute, the CFA Institute, and it takes, if you would like to move into finance completely, it would require completing 3 levels. I'm currently at level 3. I should hopefully complete that soon, and an additional 4 years of experience, and then I would gain where you would gain the 3 letters, the CFA, behind your name. And other than that, I think just to get an idea on finance, there are free courses that are available by the Canadian Corporate Finance Institute. They have really great videos that explain financial analysis, accounting, basic accounting, and as well corporate finance that really helps you understand why and how decisions are made in terms of what to spend on a project and what relative return do you need to make to justify that investment. So I think that's kind of the core valuation question that is typically being asked when you embark on a biologics or any biotech investment. What would be the expected return or financial positive cash flows to the outlays or the cash outflows that you will have to spend at earlier years. And biotech is definitely a bit harder than other industries because you really have to invest early. You don't really have much visibility onto whether that asset will succeed or not. So you really have to expand your not just one egg in a basket, a lot of them, and then based on your experience and research, hopefully a couple or more than that will become the winners. So I hope that answers your question. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn or anywhere. Always available for answering other questions as needed.
Okay, thanks, Soumya. Would you like your LinkedIn to be shared in the chat box? And also, Edie, would you like yours also?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, sure. I will paste those links later on. Now we have results for our poll. Someone actually also selected choice 5, which was nothing basically. Maybe someone doesn't agree with any of these choices here. I would like to hear who that person was because I would like to know what other options are in that person's mind, so we can also discuss those. But I would now share the results and maybe all of you can see it now. We have equal proportion for internships and career development workshops. And I completely understand because I myself am in transition, so I can understand why people are choosing this. And then the volunteering and co-op programs. So I will stop sharing and I will ask this question. For adMare Bioinnovations, so which I know that there is a Bioinnovation scientific program that is launched currently, and I would like to know, are there any other internship opportunities? Internship opportunities are mostly, I'm not sure if they are paid internship opportunities in Canada. I'm not really aware of it, or they are volunteer internship opportunities. But which type of those opportunities are available for early career phase women, also for mid-career phase women? Because many times, as in our early discussion, Edie, you mentioned that the competition is very strong in academics. So many even talented and brilliant women or even men, they continue working in the labs for a long time as a postdocs or as a technicians. So of course, in the mid-career phase, they are a little bit then somehow frustrated and they would like to move to the industrial side, right? So are there any internship opportunities available by adMare Bioinnovation for the mid-career phase women? And I would like to start this question with Edie, with you first.
So among the trainings that we offer, we have a co-op program. The co-op program is 8 months. Sometimes we have students that stay a full year, and it's quite intensive. It's a lot of bench training in what drug development looks like. We've had a lot of our co-ops go on to do very well. They've gone and they've done their grad studies. We've even had them come back and do their postdocs with us. We have a postdoc program that lasts for 2 years. It's an intensive 2 years where our postdocs lead some of our programs that we have with biotech companies. They then learn how they manage a program, how they manage people, how they manage the needs of a program themselves. We do have some small internships that we've had. For instance, in the Bioinnovations Scientist program, we've actually had a couple of interns who are partway through their degree in digital learning or developing LMS. And they've come and they've spent 6 months with us, not full time, but the time that they spend with us is paid. The postdoc is paid, the co-op students are paid. One of the things we don't currently have is the professional development workshops, but it's something that we're talking about, because as the Bioinnovation Scientist program moves on, once we're through this pandemic, what we're looking to do is to have opportunities to have in-person retreats where the people on the programs would be able to come and meet together. We're also talking about doing things like online town halls where we would spend a couple of hours enabling people to drop in and talk to us about the development of their career that they're currently working on. So all that to say, we have a number of programs that are paid. The postdoc one is actually very highly sought after, and that's one of the problems. It then becomes very competitive to get in. Same for the co-op program. I'm hoping at some point we will broaden the internship idea. I personally am very passionate about working with underserved groups. So over the years, I've worked with the 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐿𝐴 Foundation that works with high school children from Indigenous backgrounds. We bring a cohort of them in every year into the labs, but it's quite brief. So nothing that would be months and months long. So I think the longest internships we've done are mainly with high school children, and they're 6 weeks long. We'd like to do more. We need to do more.
Yeah, thanks, Edie. I think that's a very good idea, like having in-person retreats, or even if you cannot do in-person, but virtual retreats or something. Yeah, that's a good point. And I would like to ask the same question to Sumaya, you, because if like someone from scientific background, like I am pure scientific background, I have very limited finance experience. If someone from that background would like to have internship or co-op opportunity in adMare Bioinnovation, but related to finance more, right, to gain more finance experience, so which opportunities are available?
Well, I probably would maybe pass that question to people and cultures. I have recently joined. It's been 5 months that I joined the team. I'm sure there are avenues that are available within the finance team, of which I am part of, for internships and co-ops, but I'm not very sure what these are. But I would encourage you to reach out to our HR team or the Peoples and Culture team, who would really be much more helpful than I am at this point.
Okay, thanks, Sumaya. Sure, that would be very helpful, right? So we have one question from the audience, and after this question, I will have only one last question, and then we will go into breakout rooms. So one more question from the audience is about, are there any options to help PhDs or postdocs to transform their idea to a business startup? Like, does adMare Bioinnovations support postdoc or PhD students who have an idea and who would like to start a small business or something? Is there any like thing where there is, even if there is like competitive, like which can be selection can be on merit, but is there any system where you can submit the applications and something like this? Edie, I would like to ask this question too.
It would be good if Mounia was here. So Mounia
Yes.
leads a team that are called our search team, and they are constantly looking for opportunities that may become a company. So someone that has a great idea and they're working on the science, that is something that, yeah, we're very interested in, but it would be Mounia's group that person would reach out to. And we have some of Mounia's team are here in Vancouver, some are in Montreal, and that's all they do, is they research opportunities that may be of value to adMare. for adMare to become involved. And we have a number of companies that we have supported because the science is great, the potential market is great, and we can get behind it. Other than that, if it was an idea that we thought was interesting, personally, I would say we would validate your data is the most important thing, because my background is target validation. 9 out of 10 projects I've ever tried to validate, you can't reproduce the data, and you have to. So that's something else that, you know, adMare is very used to getting involved with. So it's definitely would be worth reaching out on our website to Mounia's team.
So you can actually go to the contact us page. There's a form there where you could share, and we will definitely reply. We do have a target of a maximum 5 business days to reply to you. So we take them, we never miss them. So please don't hesitate. If you have any idea, just go to the contact page and fill the form.
Oh, it's the contact page, and there the person can mention that this is the idea, and that's and this department the person would like to approach, and this is the proposal. So there is no deadline or due line, because sometimes the applications are open to accept the proposal, and it is like all the year round, right? Like it will be anytime during the year. And but based on the same question, I think I can just have one small follow-up question. Because postdocs and PhDs are someone who are like students, basically, you know, they are like considered as students, they don't earn a lot. So technically, if they have any idea related to their research project or related to anything, commercial activity for anything, they probably have not done any investment in that idea. They probably have not any data even to that idea, right? So Edie, you mentioned about the validation of data, which I completely understand from being a scientist, that it is very important, you know, in business, in academics, in both sectors, it is very important. But in that case, which type of the validation would adMare require, or which you think would be good enough for students?
So the team that works with Mounia are all scientists. And they are used to going through these ideas, whether there's data or not, to see, number one, if someone came to me with an idea, I would say, is the target known? Are other people working on that target? Because that may make it less interesting to us. And I'll give you one example. Recently, someone that was doing the Bioinnovations Scientist program, they work for a local company. They approached me and they said, you know, I have an idea that I'm really interested in. They filled in the form. They connected with one of our neuroscientists, and I joined the meeting. And we met with them, talked through their idea, where they could go next. I found it fascinating to hear someone in Mounia's team give such great advice to someone who wants to create a company. Now, I don't know where it went after that, because we left it that they were going to connect them with people in that field. So that's for them then to go off and do. But I just thought it was a really good discussion that you could have if you have an idea, is to assemble a few folks that know how to assess science and have them look at whether it is of as much interest as you might think.
Okay, thanks, Edie. I think it would be very useful for many people who are listening to this discussion. The contact page link is posted by Colleen in the chat box. If any of you would like to submit a request. And one last question we had is from Tofa, and then I think I will go to breakout rooms. It is about, is there any program internship leading postdoc opportunity, like internship program? She is currently doing her PhD in biology, and she is in her last year of study, and her research is on bioactive packaging currently. Is it possible, or it might be challenging for me to change my field, to change her field? And I think with this question, I will also tag our last question before we go to the breakout rooms. Our last question was about the referrals, like how important are the referrals in transition to industrial side, and how to get those referrals in the industrial side, because you have never worked in industrial side, right? So you cannot have any referrals there. So I will take this question first to Edie, you, and then I think I will take take it to Sumaya. Thank you.
It sounds to me like the person doing the PhD studies are working in a field that's becoming more and more interesting. You know, how to do biomanufacturing, biopackaging of whether it's mRNA or whatever, using LNPs. It's quite an active field right now. There's a number of companies here on campus very involved in that area, and it is definitely worth looking also at them. And that would be Precision Nanosystems and Acuitas. I would say reach out to me on LinkedIn and we might be able to have a conversation about that. With referrals, I would say not so much to look for the jobs, but look for the people. Look for mentors, look for people that will get behind you and add their voice to yours and will actually connect you to other people. So I'll give you an example of that. I recently had someone contact me who has tried very hard to break into the field and just wasn't getting any replies. So we sat down and did some stuff together. And suddenly she starts to get replies and interviews. Sometimes you need people to champion you and to stand behind you and add their name to what it is you're trying to get attention in. So look for people that will support you and champion you. Join our online community. It's a great place to become connected across your field. But that PhD sounds very interesting to me.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, Edie Toffa was also our finalist in symposium, and her research was around like using the gamma radiations, like something like this, right, for increasing the shelf value. So her research was very, very interesting. It's completely related to the biotech industry, and I completely agree with you with the point for the referrals. Look for the people, not for the jobs. That's very important, you know. That's very important to build your relationships. So Mia, I will take the same question to you, and if you would like to add a few things.
I probably take it from my experience. I did not transition into the biotech industry, but what I learned through finance was even reaching out to people at LinkedIn, through LinkedIn or whatnot. I also try to either work on a small or research a subject and discuss it, like with a potential contact in LinkedIn, and it sparks a conversation that kind of helped, for example, solidify or crystallize the fact that I'm really interested in finance, because it really adds to what you claim. So I think bring in something that really supports your passion and your claim, and then I think people will start noticing. And I wish you all the best, for sure.
Okay, thanks, Soumya. And now I think we will go to our breakout rooms, and definitely I'm going to join this online community of adMare for sure. This is my next venture after SCWIST. So let me create the breakout rooms. I have created 2, and let me assign. In one room, Soumya, I will place you and people can join your group, and in the other room I will place Edie. And so please feel free to join if you like, whichever group you would like to join, or you would like me to assign you manually. I think actually automatically allow participants to choose. Sorry, this option was not open before. Okay, and here it's open, so please go. I have opened, so please go and join these 2 rooms if you like. Whichever group you would like, just go and join. I will stay in the main room, so just choose it, whichever group you want to join.
Should I send which group I want to join? Because I don't see anything.
Or which group you want to join, Marcia? I can assign you.
Dr. Edie.
Dr. Edie.
I can
Okay.
see it on my screen.
Marcia, I am assigning you to Dr. Edie is in room 1. Soumya, you are in room 2, and let me send, I think, okay.
I am trying to get in the, okay.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed your time in breakout rooms and you got all the information. I'm going to paste a link in the chat box. So here is the link for our next upcoming event with Dr. Edie Dullaghan about Bioinnovation Scientific Program at adMare Bioinnovation Academy. So if you like, please go there and register for our upcoming event. And with that note, I think I would like to close the session. And before I close the session, I would like to ask our panelists for their closing remarks. So first, I would like to ask Soumya, if you would like to say something.
I just want to say that I'm very grateful of being here, very happy to meet a lot of passionate scientists And I really wish every one of you the very best. And we're all here at adMare and through LinkedIn to listen to you, to hear your thoughts. You are the ecosystem, and you are what really makes the Canadian life sciences, the whole life sciences ecosystem. So thank you for listening to me and for taking the time to be here today.
Thanks, Soumya. And Edie, if you would like to say something. You're muted.
To the student I was talking to in the breakout room, please reach out to me because we didn't get to finish that thought. What I want to leave you with is we are tasked by the federal government to train the next generation of highly qualified personnel for the Canadian ecosystem. And that is you. That is every one of you. We are tasked with putting together a program that will support you as you develop your career. And the way that we've done that to this point is to develop the Bioinnovation Scientist program. And whether someone is an international student or is a resident or is Canadian, it is for you at no charge, all of you, because we're tasked by the government to do this. It's for Canada's future, as well as ours.
Okay, thanks, Edie, and thanks, Soumya. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And I will just share my screen quickly. I already pasted the link for upcoming event in the chat box. Also, I pasted the LinkedIn profile links for Soumya and Edie. You can definitely connect with them on LinkedIn if you like. And I will just share my screen and so that you know which event I am talking about. So this event is coming. So if you like, please come and join us. Okay, it is on 19th of November. It is about Bioinnovation scientific program for young scientists. And that Dr. Edie will be with us, and she would be talking about her journey and also about this program and about her career. So please come and join us. It is at the lunch time according to the Pacific Standard Time. So now I will stop sharing my screen, and I would like to say thanks to all of you. I will close the session here. Have a great day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, in whichever time zone you are. Take care, and thanks for joining us. Thanks, Soumya. Thanks, Edie, so much for accepting our invitation and to be here. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure and honor. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.